Hi everybody, I'm Amy from the Cauldron, and in today's episode of Dye Time I'm going to be over dyeing this yarn. This is 10 grams of a superwash merino nylon blend, and it has been dyed in Dharma's Nebula Navy at a 1% depth of shade. Now when I get a new dye, I like to dye up 10 grams of yarn at a 1% depth of shade just to see what it looks like. And as you can see, I've got quite a few here still, which I am in the process of over dyeing. Today, I'm going to be over dyeing this one. This has been pre-soaking for a little bit, not very long at all, about 10 minutes at most. And I'm going to use today some leftover fluorescent fuchsia that I made up in April 2022. It was a 1% depth of shade then, but I don't think it is now. I'm going to just use a tablespoon of this because it's quite a potent dye. The fluorescents take quite a long time to absorb. Now I'm just going to add some tap water to this. The equipment I'm using is dedicated for dyeing. I don't use it for food at all. And add a tablespoon of vinegar. Now because this is an animal fibre, it needs vinegar and heat for the dye to set to the yarn. Now it obviously doesn't have heat at the moment, but I only have one small pot and that is currently being used. So I'm going to let this sit in the fluorescent dye until my other little pot becomes available. I have tried using my big dye pots and my steam pans to dye that 10 grams of yarn, but it kind of is a waste. So I'm just going to let this sit here, and then when my other pot becomes available I can add this. So I'm just going to be doing a kettle dye with this just to see if the pink makes any sort of effect on the Nebula Navy. I make these little swatch cards when I dye these yarns, so we will be able to see if this pink has made any effect whatsoever. And I have done another dyeing project that's currently on the stove at the moment, and I should have been wearing gloves because my bottle leaked. My dye pot's now clear, so I can add this to some heat. So it doesn't look like there's much colour in here, but if we look at the yarn, it doesn't look like anything has absorbed to the yarn yet either. So I'm going to now leave this on the heat for a good 30 minutes. I let this cool down overnight, and I transferred it to this container because I needed the saucepan for another project. And there is still a hint of pink in there. Very, very light hint of pink. And so now we're going to wash this, add a bit of washing up liquid. I'm fully expecting more pink dye to come out. See, it doesn't look like there is any dye coming out of this. If I hold it like that, you can see the water's looking pretty clear. I'm certainly be interested to see what this yarn looks like once it's dry. Now because I did use a fluorescent dye, only a tiny bit, but I still use the fluorescent dye. Those can be quite temperamental and they can bleed, so I'm going to let this soak, and hopefully that will encourage any dye to come out. But it doesn't look like there's anything coming out. I'm not going to film the whole washing process, but I will check back in if it starts bleeding, but it doesn't look like it. So hopefully this will be quite an easy one. And I will keep washing that until the water runs clear. And here is my finished dried yarn. And here is my swatch of Nebula Navy that I took from that skein before I dyed it. And there may be the tiniest hair of difference between these two. If we look really, really closely, I think this one may be a touch bluer. It may be more broad. I don't know. This feels like a little bit more of a blue, whereas that's a more navy colour. Honestly, there is barely any difference there. So I'm going to go and dye this skein in another video. Again, what colour should I dye it next time? Or try to over dye it next time? Leave your suggestions down below and I will pick a colour from those suggestions. And this is why I love doing these little experiments on these 10-gram skeins of yarn, because if it doesn't work out the way that I'd hoped, I haven't wasted a full 100-gram skein of yarn. This is just a little 10-gram skein that I can dye again, and now I know if I want to try and dye a pink over a blue, maybe I need to choose a different pink. Maybe I should use magenta next time, see if I can, because that's quite a strong, bright pigment colour. And that could make more of an impact on this yarn than the fluorescent fuchsia. What do you think? Let me know. And while you're at it, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and you've got your notifications turned on so you don't miss any new videos. I publish a new video every Monday, usually around 6 PM UK time. So make sure you've got those notifications turned on so you don't miss a new video. Thank you so much for watching.